Aquarius, thank you for joining me. This is your astrology for June 2016. Now, there is a grand cross in the sky, and that's going to be there for the duration of June. It started on the 26th of May. It lasts until the 27th to 28th of June-ish. It kind of starts to fizzle out then. And a grand cross is a major aspect pattern that is made up of 4 squares. A square is when 2 planets are 90 degrees apart, and they create friction. And there's motivation and energy between the 2 of them. So 4 of them create this big square or diamond if you tilt it, and it creates a real sense of energy and motivation and friction within you, within your life. And the thing that it connects in your chart is a possible sense of frustration or lack of growth when it comes to your friendships or your social circle. It connects with this idea and this dream that you've got right now about what you can achieve in your financial life, in your working life. You do feel very loving and very good, and very much like your romantic life could be taking off. I think you've got a great interest in that sector of your life. And then you have real good luck and the real possibility for growth and movement in your job as an employee. So there's a lot of stuff going on there that you can't do all at once. The good thing is that you will have lots of energy and you'll feel almost driven and compelled to look at each of these areas, but you can't do all of them at once. So organize that, keep things simple, look at one thing at a time, and realize that the good thing is you're not going to run out of energy in this month. Okay. On the 2nd of June, there's another major aspect pattern, and that is a grand trine in Earth. So this time around, it's 3 trines when 2 planets are 120 degrees away from each other, and that creates a big triangle. And this is a much more gentle energy. It's still significant though, and this gives you a real ease, and it gives you a real talent and a real strength and an ability to excel at something. This again connects your great ability that you have in your working life. So if you are an Aquarius and you're an employee, you will have a very good month in your job. If that's sales, if that's management, whatever it is, you will have a very lucky, positive month in your job if you put the action in. There's also a sense of transformation when it comes to what you feel comfortable with, what you feel supported by, what you feel secure with. I think family is very good. I think you've been working on that, and people in your family have been working with you to make things better. And I think that is transforming your own personal spiritual strength. And I think you have got much stronger, and you are getting much stronger in that sense. And you can rely on yourself more, and you can feel more like a positive presence in your own life. Now on the 3rd of June, the moon is in Taurus, and it's at 20 degrees in your 4th house, right next to your midheaven. On the 4th, it jumps over your midheaven. The midheaven is the angle of work, and it goes into Gemini in your 5th house. So I think you're working on relationships with family members around the 3rd, and then the shift and focus will be a little bit moving away from family, and you'll start to think about your own family that you want to create if you're still single. Your own family unit, your own children, your own romantic relationships, your own partnerships. But ultimately, the work is going to be focusing on the people in your life, the people you want in your life, and the people who are nearest and most intimate to you. Okay? So when there's this much work, and it's Taurus and Gemini, it looks positive. And I think when you put the work in on these days, it'll pay off. So if there is an opportunity for you to address something that's been a problem, or if you can spend the day with someone going out and just enjoying yourself, then do that. There's the potential for you to really bond and get closer and really reach a new level in your relationship. On the 5th of June, the new moon occurs, and the good, wonderful news for you, Aquarius, is that the new moon occurs in Gemini in your 5th house of romance and children. So the new moon pulls energy in, and it draws energy towards itself. Gemini is information, and it's the desire to discover. Geminis are curious. They are very inquisitive. They have this idea that if they learn enough, if they discover enough, they can get to a real sense of meaning and understanding. So that kind of youthful energetic energy is drawn into your romance sector. You will feel a great need to go out there to rediscover romance in your existing relationship, or to continue it, or to enjoy it if it's there already. If you're single, to discover love, to work on creating that in your life and to bring it into your life. So the beginning of the month, Aquarius, you are feeling very positive, you're feeling very optimistic. You're not done yet. You know that good things are to come in your life, and you're actively working towards achieving those. And what more can you ask for? If you think that good things are to come in your life, and you actually put the effort to create those good things, then, I mean, that's pretty much a recipe for success. Your head's in the right place, and you're following up on those good thoughts. So well done. On the 7th of June, the moon goes into Cancer in your 6th house. This is interesting because I think someone in your working life, I think you'll hear some news that'll touch you, that'll have an emotional response, an emotional impact on your life. On the 9th of June, there's a yod that appears in your chart. This is the finger of God. It's a very karmic kind of influence. And let's have a look at that. I think that this renewed sense of personal strength and spiritual strength that you've been working on, that you've been discovering, it gives you the gift, the ability to stand up in public and to communicate in a very open way without the usual reluctance or fear. I think you're very good at letting your light shine at the moment, and if you have any opportunity to present, to address the public, to go out and speak, that will be very good, and that will bring you one step closer to achieving your dream when it comes to your work, your career, the money that you make. Remember, this Grand Cross is still in place until the end of the month. So there is that desire to achieve in your working life, you have great ambition and an aspiration as to where you can be. If there's an opportunity to do something public, take that opportunity. It will lead you towards your own success. Venus goes into Gemini on the 9th as well, and it conjuncts, actually no, it has been in Gemini, but on the 9th here it starts to conjunct your Sun, which means that the Sun and Venus are both in the same place. They're both at 19 degrees in the 5th house in Gemini. So your identity in Gemini, you're optimistic, you're looking for romance, for love. Venus in Gemini, the goddess of love here, is her most chatty, her most childlike and innocent, and most inquisitive and optimistic about what the future holds. So love and identity, you are a loving individual, and your primary focus is on discovering something or someone you love. And it can be something like an activity, a life purpose, although with its placement here in the 5th house, I really think that you can have an amazing time spending time with your children. I think you'll be a little bit of a kid yourself and have that sense of silliness that most adults lose. And also, if it's a new relationship, it can really be meeting that twin flame, that soulmate, that kindred spirit, that person who's at the same wavelength. So that's 10 out of 10 for love and romance on the 9th of June for you, Aquarius. And out of all the signs of the zodiac, you really have the most positive placement here of romance and love. On the 11th and 12th of June, we've got the moon joining your rising sign, your Jupiter, and your North Node in Virgo in your 8th house. So this is where you feel very comfortable, you feel very capable when it comes to your work. This is where I said earlier, if you are an employee, you're really taking the right action. You're really having a good month. You're really aligned with the work. You're making good decisions. And that is because you feel like you're doing the right thing at the right time. So you're giving everything you've got. People who you work with notice that, and because you're making such a great effort, it kind of feeds in towards you taking another step towards realizing your hopes and dreams. It doesn't mean that you're necessarily going to get promoted on the 11th or 12th, but it means that it's a step in the right direction. Okay, on the 13th of June, Mercury, the planet of communication, that goes into Gemini, and it joins your midheaven, your Sun, and your Venus in your 5th house of romance and relationship. So Mercury rules Gemini, and it loves being in that sign. It's about giving out information, it's about communicating, and it's about learning and discovering. And this is another even more positive day now when it comes to love and romance and discovering the person you want to be with, or what you like about the other person, falling in love with another person. You know, this is very much kind of, you know, two people getting to know each other and seeing what they like and becoming closer and closer, and everything's kind of shifting and moving towards that becoming stronger and stronger here. So 13th of June, even better than a couple of days ago when it comes to love and romance. So also, and unfortunately, I know most people despise internet dating, but you would even do well if you try and find that other person by going on a dating website or joining a meetup group or something like that. If it has to do with information that brings the two of you together, there's great potential for it to happen. On the 14th of June, the moon goes into Libra, and it's at 17 degrees in your 9th house. Now 1 and 7 is 8 in numerology, and 8 is power. Libra is a cardinal air sign, so it's about power in itself and taking action. The thing that would most benefit you on this day, and on the 13th as well to a lesser extent, but 13th, 14th and 15th is an amazing time for you to travel, to go on a trip, to meet someone new on the trip, and to really just feel very comfortable going somewhere else, exploring something, having a fun time and enjoying yourself. So try and plan that in, you'd have a blast. On the 16th of June, the Lyrids meteor shower is at its most powerful. Okay, so it started on the 10th of June, it will last until the 21st of June, and a meteor shower in astrology usually is about cleansing. Okay, these little meteor shower, these little shooting stars themselves, they'll show up as kind of light blue, white light bluish, and for you, go ahead and make a wish and watch them for a little bit. For you, this is almost going to be like having your dreams come true and seeing lots of potential different things in terms of your romantic life. So when you go look at the meteor shower, kind of try and imagine each one of those shooting stars as a potential partner. It will give you great hope. It will give you energy and give you a lot of enthusiasm and courage when it comes to your romantic life, because dating isn't easy, is it? You know, meeting someone you love and all of the things that could go wrong, and just the idea of putting yourself out there again and trying to make yourself look appealing and maybe even losing a bit of weight so that you can find that new partner. These are all things we have to deal with. So use that meteor shower to inspire you and to kind of reignite you with that sense of hope and enthusiasm that you can find the right one. Out of all of the signs of the zodiac, you're really in the best position to find love in June. So I really want to encourage you with that. The moon goes into Scorpio on the 17th of June, and it joins your Mars in Scorpio, which is in retrograde in your 10th. Okay, so I think you'll feel very much at ease with what you're doing work-wise, and I don't think you'll have a great desire to make changes to your career. I think you're pretty much settled with the way things are going there. On the 18th of June, the Virgo Pisces axis becomes really strong, okay? The two are 180 degrees apart, and there are opposing planets in your 8th house and planets in your 2nd house in Pisces, and they oppose each other. So the dream of what you can achieve in terms of your money life will come under focus again today as a result of the practical actions you've taken in your work. So things you've done earlier in the month will now bring you another step closer to realizing your dreams and ambitions and achievements in your career. Venus also goes into Cancer on this day, and Venus now leaves your 5th house of romance, and you start to focus more on your working life. So when it comes to love and romance, you know, use the beginning of the meteor shower from the 10th to the 18th, and go put yourself out there before the 18th of June. That's when you're going to have the most success, because now your focus shifts a little bit and you're back to looking at work and really being interested in that and doing as much as you can there. On the 20th of June, the full moon occurs, and that occurs in Sagittarius in your 11th. Again, it's another message that you will benefit greatly from spending time with other people, traveling, going on a trip, exploring something new, spending time with friends. But make sure you let your hair down a little bit and you don't see relationships as work, and that you allow yourself to have fun as well. On the 21st of June, the Sun goes into Cancer as well. So all of that energy is now leaving your 5th, and your identity moves into your 6th house of day-to-day routine and work. So you become much more focused on what you can achieve and how you can take care of your working life so that you really achieve the things that you want to achieve. I really think that you'll start to see results. I think you'll get some good news from your work because you are like the model employee and people will recognize and honor you for that. On the 23rd and 24th of June, Mars and Uranus start to quincux, and Uranus is in your 3rd house in Aries. And this is interesting because you're somewhat laid back, I think, when it comes to work, because I feel like you laid back in the sense that you're not questioning what you're doing. You're putting a lot of energy and effort in. That's really what's going to help you and serve you this month. But there's no kind of confusion about the job you're in or wanting to change it. Now, Uranus in the 3rd, when these two kind of join each other, it'll make you more take notice of other things, and you may become aware of other ways of working, and with that awareness, with that knowledge, may come a little bit of dissatisfaction in the sense of, oh, I've worked so hard, and if you haven't had a promotion yet, or if you haven't had any recognition, I think on the 23rd and 24th now, some dissatisfaction and a little bit of irritability could creep in, and it could be like, well, I've been working so hard and no one recognizes me and no one values what I'm doing. Just really be aware of that. I don't think that's necessarily true. I don't think you necessarily need to listen to that voice of discord, because I feel that if you continue to put the work in, I think you will be recognized for what you're doing. If you are someone who has absolutely decided that you're leaving your day job and that you will set up your own business and that you're going to make yourself independent, then the 24th and 24th of June those 2 days are really good days to launch your own business. Because like you have a birth chart, a business is also born at a certain day, time and place. And that will have a birth chart. And this business will always have Uranus in Aries, so there will be a lot of push and energy to overcome obstacles and to achieve. So if you do want to make yourself independent, these 2 days are very good for that. On the 25th of June, Mercury starts to conjunct your midheaven in your 5th. So again, this is another really, really good day to understand what's going on in your romantic life and to put more effort in to really get something going there. It's a great day for romance. You feel good, you're communicative, you're articulate, you come across very well, you feel positive about yourself, you care about other people. It's a great day to go on a first date. Really good. People will really warm to you. Come across as educated, intelligent, accepting, responsible, experienced, all of these kind of positive things. On the 27th of June, the moon goes into Aries in your 3rd house at 2 degrees. Okay? So ideas are now starting to flourish more at the end of June. You feel much more comfortable dealing with information, looking at other options, not just kind of putting your head down and being at the grindstone and really being diligent and hardworking. I think you're more questioning now at the end of the month, and you start to feel a sense of uncertainty and dissatisfaction with that extra information that you're taking in. So it can be a blessing and it can be a curse as well, because if you're in a great place and you're not thinking about it, good. If you're in a okay place but you start to really doubt and question where you're at, then you could really make yourself feel unhappy. So if you do feel dissatisfied in this role you've got as an employee, or working, for a group, like if you're retired and you're part of this impressionist group and you're all working and you've really been doing some great stuff, but the course leader really just doesn't care about what you're doing, you may think, what, screw this group, I'm going to go somewhere where I'm appreciated. And that's the kind of thing that I notice here. And if you do feel that sense of, I'm fed up now, I've worked hard enough, or, you guys don't recognize me, then do it by yourself. Don't just sit on that, because that kind of thing can lead to real dissatisfaction and can really lead to conflict between people, because you're going to get grouchy. So do something about it and honor that feeling within yourself. On the 29th of June, there's a grand trine in water, and this is another good day to, okay, things shift now. This is you now starting to realize your hopes and dreams at work. So either you do get recognized, or if you have walked out, you can start to actually put the effort in to create your own business, to create your own success. But what I said earlier was, at the beginning of the month, you're working very well, then you have that lull of dissatisfaction. Stick with it, and you will be recognized by the end of the month. Finally, on the 30th, Mercury goes into Cancer as well in your 6th house. And whether you're still employed or whether you're now self-employed, you really, really care about your work, your day-to-day routine. So give yourself completely to that, and you can make great progress and inroads. Okay, so that's what I get for you in June. I hope that's helpful. I hope it gives you something to go on. If you'd like a private reading with me, then please get in touch via my website. It's gregoryscott.com. Click on the Readings tab and order your reading there. Remember to subscribe to this YouTube channel, please, please, please. And I've also started doing a weekly astrology forecast on Facebook, so have a look at that. It's for all signs of the zodiac. It's facebook.com/GregoryScott444. Hope you have a fabulous June. Please have a look at the daily tarot readings that I do on this channel. The monthly forecast like this one, I'll do another one for July. Have a great month, and I'll speak to you soon.